Hello again, everyone. I'm Charles Gross.
And I'm Leslie Hoban Blake. Welcome to Two on the Aisle.
And today, Leslie and I are going to review Punch at the Manhattan Theater Club. This is a play written by James Graham based on the book Right from Wrong by Jacob Dunn and directed by Adam Penford. And Punch is a very appropriate name for this play because all it takes is one punch to change the life of a young man living in Nottingham, England. Now, this man is Jacob, who tells his life story. The show begins in a therapy session and comes in and out of the therapy. The therapy, however, disappears mostly in the second act. He tells about his life, his growing up with his mother. His parents are divorced. His father is around, but not really. So it's basically his mother, and he falls in with the wrong crowd. And he likes to go bar hopping, and he likes to get into fights, barroom brawls. And one night it goes a little farther than he expected because he meets up with a young man. They have absolutely no connection. They do not have words. He just happens to throw a random punch, hits the guy, and ends up killing him. And that sets the tone for the rest of the play. What happens after that, and how he puts his life back together, and his interaction with the family of the young man that he killed. And it is a fascinating play, wouldn't you say, Leslie?
I'm in the vocal minority on this play. I was totally unmoved by it. I thought that it was. I know it's based on fact. I was with Gary, our mutual friend, who sobbed through two-thirds of the second act. Just
Mhm.
was so moved by it. I was not. I thought it was melodramatic. It's very British. It's the pub culture where you go out and get drunk and have fights.
Right.
And whether he gets saved or not saved in the sense of reconstructed, is it, I don't care. I mean, he's a lout, and yes, he makes something of his life, but he did kill somebody, and he killed him in the most random, unmeaning, not nothing involved, nothing. I mean, nothing even to feel sorry about. How can he feel sorry for what he did when there was no reason, no rationale? It was
The
just
answer
a
is you
random
can't.
act of
So,
violence.
which is why when he meets with the parents of the boy, there is maybe an understanding, but not necessarily forgiveness. And I don't know how much you can redeem yourself after that. But I am in the majority, and I really did enjoy the play. I enjoyed the first act where we find about his past and where we have the punch where he is on the run from the law, where eventually he is captured, he is jailed, and what happens after that. The second act, which is his redemption, and this should be the part that brings the tears, etc. I enjoyed, but not as much. There was just the play sort of lost the energy. His downfall was actually more interesting
Well,
than his rise. But I did
there's a
I did have a very good time at this show.
there's a
I
very
found it very gripping.
to me there was a feeling of an adult after school special to this. Like kids now be careful because if you throw a punch, this is what could happen to you. And
Mhm.
that was the feeling that I got. I found it generic. As I say, generic to that particular culture. It's very specific to that Guy Ritchie pub culture lad, LAD in quotation marks, lad group. And he's done many movies about these guys whose lives are nothing but violence, random violence. And I don't know if they deserve to be redeemed. I must be honest with you. I know that I don't know if that sounds right wing or left of left.
But
I don't know
that
what.
those are questions that come up in the play.
Yeah,
You're
I know.
asking exactly what is, and there is a certain resolution that the play doesn't necessarily answer the questions. You have every right to ask them, and to come to a different conclusion than
Well, thank
someone.
you very much. I appreciate that. But this is also a British institution of restorative justice. It's something that they do in cases like this, where you can unite the victim's family and the perpetrator, if they so wish. It takes place over a long span of time.
Right, 2011 to 2025.
And that exactly is what makes it less dramatic for me. The slowness of what it should be, like in a film, truncated on stage, doesn't give one the sense of how long it took. So it looks as if it happened very quickly, even though it didn't. We know it didn't, but it looks like it did. I'm not giving anything away because that's what it's all about. So it's not a shock to have that happen. What is a shock is that it doesn't have me on the edge of my seat at any time, nor did it reach my tear ducts. I did not cry. I wasn't moved, and I think I should have been.
I haven't seen as many Guy Ritchie movies as you, perhaps, so this was new to me, and it was pretty much my first exploration into this kind of culture, and
Mhm.
I found it very interesting. I mean, look, this is not the first time I've heard of people bar hopping. I'm sure it's not necessarily exclusive to England. I'm sure there are people around here who do the same thing. Uh, um,
No, I'm
but
sure there
I,
are, but I don't think that they then going out and picking fights every night.
what amazes me is that they haven't been hurt or haven't been jailed before or don't have some sort of record. They've actually been pretty lucky, or maybe they're just very, very good at fighting. I can't say I was moved to tears, but I was fascinated by it. I enjoyed watching it, especially again the first act.
Do you think that it had to do with Will Harrison, the actor playing the role?
He's very good. He basically, this is all, in some ways it's a one man show the way he is
Yes,
on stage
yes,
for the time. And yes, he plays the role very sympathetically. It's not that you can identify with what he did. It's not that you are necessarily sorry, but I did find myself interested in his story. And what I found very interesting was the end of the play, which I'm going to give away, spoiler alert. He marries a nice girl played by Camilla Cano Flavia.
just goes on
Flavia.
to have a normal life. Yeah,
Well, here's the thing. They have a son, and
yes,
he's talking to the son the way his mother used to talk to him when he was a baby. And well, we know how he turned out. So the
right.
question is, will this little baby grow up to be like his
Exactly,
father? Or
exactly.
will the fact that his father, having been through all this and being a part of his son's life, maybe will break the chain?
I did think that Victoria Clark, as always, did a lovely job. But she, other than the second act, she seems to be much more of an ancillary character. She's the mother of the boy who's killed.
Right.
And so her role is very, very important.
Every role except for Jacob, in other words, the person who threw the punch, is secondary.
And
This
double.
is
Every
this
role
world.
is also double, not just secondary, but
Yes,
double. The direction was very athletic, shall we say. Uh, but it all seemed to focus in on him. In other words, everything was behind him, like some sort of penumbra shadow kind of thing. And he was in
everything
the center,
focuses
he
on,
being Jacob, he being Jacob. And he's also the narrator. So this is another one of those narrator plays.
which again is why it often feels like a one man show.
Right, precisely.
How many playbills will you give this?
Oh, okay.
Five. Five being
Uh,
the
okay. For the acting, and I think that Will Harrison, whom I don't know, is an interesting young man. I think he's an interesting actor. I would like to see him in a different role now. Uh, but and of course Victoria Clark, as I say, can do anything. For the acting, I would give it a 3.5. For the play itself, about a 2.5.
really.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
sorry.
go. I would give it three and three quarters. I might even go up to four on
Wow.
it. I did enjoy it.
And I
It
do think I just
had
wanted to add
attention.
something.
I found it gripping, and it's a long play. It's 2 hours, but I sat through it, and I don't know if a good time is the proper way to
Yeah,
describe it.
right. I really
Um,
enjoyed the killing, right?
yeah, but I had it. What I'll say it was a fulfilling evening.
I just did want to add one other thing. Sam Robards, Lauren Bacall, and Jason Robards' son, who is now a middle-aged man himself, plays the father, and that is such a thankless role. I mean, he's there literally as a visual, practically nothing more than that. So again, I mean, it's in
Well,
the
again,
writing.
that ties into what I was saying before, how Jacob is really the only.
Oh yes, a fleshed out character, except the mother in the second act.
Very
And
good. And and
no,
that
I
is our
have no
show for today. And when you go to the theater, look for Leslie and me, us too.
on the aisle arguing.
We do that very well, don't we?
Well, we do it a lot.
Yeah, that's something we can agree on.